guys, I'm Clayton, and I'm an artist who loves movies. I started doing movie reviews back in 2015 on DeviantArt, and I haven't done one in a while, but I decided, why not make a YouTube video, or make some on YouTube if I can. So today for our first video, since I might be doing movie reviews, I would show off my DVD and Blu-ray collection. Just kind of show my taste in movies, and y'all can laugh at me if you want to, but these are just movies I like, or even some that I find guilty pleasures, or whatever have you, or underrated. But with that out of the way, let's begin. Alright, to start off, we have 300 and 300 Rise of an Empire. Haven't seen these movies in a while, but I do really like 300, and I remember liking Rise of an Empire fine, even if it's not as good as the first. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. Super cheesy 80s, but I love it. The Adventures of Tintin, one of Spielberg's best movies of the 2010s. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. I do like the show, and I doubt I'm going to get the rest of the series soon, or it's on Netflix, so I doubt I'll get the rest of the series. Akira, probably the only anime movie I own. Nothing against anime, I like anime. I'm just not like super into it, but Akira is one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. Aladdin, one of my favorite Disney movies. The remake was fine. I thought it was enjoyable. Aliens, and Prometheus. Of these two, I kind of have a preference for Aliens. It's one of my favorite movies. And Prometheus honestly wasn't that bad. Neither was Covenant. I mean, it was better than AVPR. The Amazing Spider-Man. I do enjoy this movie. Wasn't that big of a fan of the second one. Sorry, Nordy. An American Tail. Classic Don Bluth. It's not one of his best movies, but it's still really good. It still has a lot of heart. Speaking of Don Bluth, Anastasia. One of his best movies. Even though people criticize it for being a Disney knockoff, it's definitely one of the better ones. Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. The first one is definitely better. I did enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp a lot, but these are definitely a lot of fun. These are really fun movies. Arthur Christmas, one of the best underrated Christmas movies to come out in recent years. Argo. Not much to say on that one. It's just been a good Ben Affleck movie. Arrival, one of the best sci-fi movies to come out in a while. Along with Attack the Block. Avatar. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, some say it's overrated. I still somewhat enjoy it. But a much better one is Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Avatar's a much better show, but Korra's still really good. Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Infinity War. And my personal favorite of the movies, Avengers Endgame. Endgame is one of my favorite movies of 2019. It's so good. Baby Driver, a movie that proves that Edgar Wright can do no wrong. The Back to the Future trilogy. 3 of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, okay, especially the first one, but I do love all 3 of these movies. Batman and Batman Returns in these Best Buy exclusive steelbooks. Batman Mask of the Phantasm, one of the best Batman movies. And of course we have Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight is easily the best one, but I like Batman Begins and even Dark Knight Rises. Batman The Dark Knight Returns, one of the best adaptations of this graphic novel. And lastly, Batman vs. Ninja Turtles. Surprisingly a lot of fun. Beauty and the Beast, another one of my favorite Disney movies. The remake was fine. Beetlejuice, one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. Big Eyes, one of Tim Burton's most underrated movies of the 2010s. Big Fish, another one of Tim Burton's best movies. Big Hero 6. Never understood the hate for this movie, but I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And plus, who doesn't want a Baymax, am I right? Big Trouble in Little China. Such a fun movie. The Black Cauldron. Said to be the darkest, or the black sheep of the Disney movies, but I have a soft spot for it. I'm a sucker for dark fantasy. What can I say? Black Panther. A little overhyped, but I still think it's a really good movie. The Blues Brothers. Classic. The Book of Life. Very underrated anime movie. Boyhood. A very ambitious movie. It took nearly 12 years to make it, and it's turned out to be pretty good. Brave. A lot of people are mixed on this movie, but I like it. I think it's a pretty good movie. Not one of Pixar's best, but certainly not the worst. I mean, have you seen Cars 2? The Brave Little Toaster. Another childhood classic. The Breakfast Club in this Target exclusive VHS case. There's a Blu-ray in here, just to make sure. Bubba Hotep. Bruce Campbell as an aged Elvis fighting a cowboy mummy. How can you go wrong? A Bug's Life. The Cabin in the Woods. I'm glad it's kind of getting a following, being watched on Halloween, because it's actually pretty good. Captain America the First Avenger. Winter Soldier. And Civil War. Of these three, I do think Civil War is probably the best one, but I do love Winter Soldier, and I do have a likeness for First Avenger. And it was done by the guy who did The Rocketeer, so that's also a good thing. Captain Marvel. Despite what this naysayer says, I do not hate this movie. I thought it was somewhat enjoyable. Not one of Marvel's best, but certainly not the worst. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. I grew up reading the books, and the movie was actually really fun. I think it's kind of overlooked, if you be honest. This 2-volume set of classic cartoons, mostly from the Fleischer Brothers like Casper, Superman, Popeye, classic stuff. Though speaking of one of those characters, Casper. I love watching this movie around Halloween, and it's actually a really good, emotional movie. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is actually a good movie also. It's much more closer to Roald Dahl's original book. A Charlie Brown Christmas and a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Classic Peanut specials. A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out. Chronicle, one of the best movies to have come out in the 2010s, and I was hoping we would get a sequel, and it looks like we might not get it, unfortunately. Clash of the Titans, one of my favorite fantasy movies, and a classic showcase of Ray Harryhausen's talent. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Both these movies are really good. I don't have Cloverfield Paradox. Was not a huge fan of that. Coco, one of Pixar's best movies of the 2010s. Saw this with my sister, and both of us were crying our eyes out at the end. I can't even blame us. It was actually a really sad scene. Commando. Ultimate Schwarzenegger action at its finest. Conan the Barbarian. One of Schwarzenegger's best movies also. Classic sword and sorcery. The Conjuring. And The Conjuring 2. Two of the absolute scariest movies I have ever seen. And I'm looking forward to The Conjuring 3 or The Devil Made Me Do It. Coraline. One of the scariest anime movies ever made. Corpse Bride. Another one of Tim Burton's good movies. Darkman. Before Sam Raimi gave us Spider-Man, he created this superhero, and it's actually a really good movie. Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do Deadpool in the MCU, since Disney now owns Fox. The Die Hard 25th Anniversary Collection. This only contains Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and Live Free or Die Hard. Thankfully, it does not include A Good Day to Die Hard, because that sucked. The Disaster Artist. District 9. Django Unchained. One of Quentin Tarantino's best movies. A fun fact, I actually showed that movie to my grandpa who loves westerns, and he actually really ended up liking it. I was surprised. Doctor Strange, a pretty underrated MCU movie. Don't Breathe, a super intense movie. Just, whew. Dread, I am the law. And hopefully we'll be getting that sequel soon. Drew, the man behind the poster, a really great look into poster artist Drew Struzan. I highly recommend it. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, classic. Ed, Edd n Eddy, the complete first season. I'm hoping one day Cartoon Network will actually release the entire series on DVD and Blu-ray, like with all the specials, the movie, all that jazz. Just please, Cartoon Network or AKA Cartoons, make it happen. Ed Wood, another one of Tim Burton's best movies. Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat Edge of Tomorrow, but it's just Edge of Tomorrow, and this is a really good movie. Edward Scissorhands. Elf. Probably my mom's favorite Christmas movie, and I love it too. The Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. Now, Emperor's New Groove is one of the funniest Disney movies ever made. I have not seen Kronk's New Groove. Maybe I'll check it out someday. Enter the Dragon, classic Bruce Lee. And Escape from New York, classic John Carpenter. Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 in these really awesome Book of the Dead editions. Army of Darkness, the director's cut. Army of Darkness, the theatrical cut. And the Scream Factory Blu-ray of Army of Darkness, which I recommend to any fan of Evil Dead or even Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 2013. I actually really do like this movie. Kind of is a bit underrated. And one of the better horror remakes do come out. All 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Such a kick-ass show. It's such a shame they canceled it. Such a shame. Excalibur, one of the best movies about King Arthur. The Expendables and The Expendables 2. Not really great movies, but it's dumb classic action and I love it. Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. Really artsy Disney movies, but I love them. The Fantastic Mr. Fox. I will have to check out more of Wes Anderson's movies because I only have 2 of them. This and another one coming up. Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Finding Nemo's a better movie, but I kind of think Finding Dory's a bit underrated. First Blood. Rambo, First Blood Part 2. Rambo 3. Maybe the weakest out of all of them. Rambo, or Rambo 4. And Rambo Last Blood. I actually really enjoyed... excuse me. I really liked Rambo Last Blood. I don't really understand the hate. Forrest Gump. Frankenweenie. Another one of Tim Burton's most underrated movies of the 2010s. Frozen. I have not seen Frozen 2 yet. Probably will at some point. Full Metal Jacket. Probably the only Kubrick movie I own and probably my favorite. Get Out. I was surprised how good this movie was. Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters, not much to say. It's a classic, but I kind of have a soft spot for Ghostbusters 2. Looking forward to Afterlife. Glass in this Target exclusive steelbook with Alex Ross cover art. I like Glass. It's not perfect, but certainly not awful. Alright, got some Godzilla movies here. We have Godzilla, the original Godzilla movie. This 3-pack including Godzilla and Mothra the Battle for Earth, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Godzilla 2000. Fun fact, as a kid I thought this was the sequel to the Matthew Broderick movie. Boy was I stupid. Godzilla Final Wars. And rounding off we have Gareth Edwards' Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. I had a fun time with King of the Monsters, honestly. Not perfect, but I had a lot of fun. Good Burger. Can I take your order? The Good Dinosaur. Honestly found this kind of underrated. It's another one of Pixar's most underrated movies. A Goofy movie. A movie that's dated but yet holds up extremely well. The Goonies. Never Say Die. Goosebumps. A really enjoyable, fun movie. The sequel was, eh. Gravity. Really intense. Gravity Falls, the complete series. Thank you, Shout Factory, for giving this series a proper release. Grease. I enjoy it. Green Lantern First Flight. Green Lantern Emerald Knights. And, y'all probably gonna hate me for this, the Green Lantern movie. I actually don't hate the Green Lantern movie. I'm actually looking forward to the HBO Max show. The Green Mile, another classic. Gremlins and Gremlins 2, the new batch. Of these two, I love them both. I do have a lenient towards Gremlins 2, but I love the first one a lot. Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm leaning more towards Volume 2. I actually really love that one a lot, but I still love the first one. Harry Potter, the complete 8-film collection. And Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I have not seen Crimes of Grindelwald. I heard it wasn't very good. Hancock, kind of an underrated Will Smith movie. Halloween, classic. The Hateful Eight. Hercules, Disney's Hercules, that is. And then we also have Hercules starring Dwayne Johnson, which I know a lot of people don't like it, but I found some enjoyment out of it. The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, The Desolation of Smaug, and The Battle of the Five Armies, all in their extended editions. I never understood the hate for the Hobbit movies, quite honestly. I mean, not as good as Lord of the Rings, but it's still good. Holes. One of my favorite Christmas movies and one of my favorite comedies, Home Alone. I made my family disappear. Hook. Such a good movie. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Hot Fuzz. Super hilarious. Hotel Transylvania, Hotel Transylvania 2, and Hotel Transylvania 3. A surprisingly really good and funny trilogy. The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Kind of an underrated movie to watch around Halloween. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the animated special, as well as the Ron Howard How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I have a soft spot for. But the original is a classic. How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and How to Train Your Dragon The Hidden World. All three of these are probably my favorite DreamWorks movies. The best one for me is either 2 or The Hidden World. Love all three of them. Hugo. Kind of overlooked nowadays. The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, but we don't talk about that. Hulk. I'm glad this movie's getting a following nowadays, but this is actually a good movie. It has its problems, but I really like it. Hulk vs. one of the best Marvel animated movies. The Hunt for the Wilder People. Done by the same guy who did Thor Ragnarok, and it's actually really good. Ice Age. Still holds up to this day, just... Ooh, I hope they don't do any more sequels, let's hope. Inception. Talk about a mind trip, am I right? The Incredible Hulk. I honestly kind of find this movie a bit underrated. Not perfect, but underrated. The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. Finally, after all these years, we got an Incredibles 2, and it was so good. Indiana Jones, The Complete Adventures. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones 5, whatever they're going to do with it. And if you ask, my favorite is Last Crusade. Inglourious Bastards. One thing only. Killing Nazis. Inside Out, one of Pixar's best movies. Insidious. Insidious Chapter 2. And Insidious Chapter 3. I don't think I'll get Insidious The Last Key. Was not a huge fan of that one. Now we get to, for those who don't know, my favorite movie of all time, The Iron Giant. Brad Bird's magnum opus. It's such a great movie. Speaking of Iron Man, Iron Man 2, and Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 I actually kind of find very underrated. Iron Man 2, probably one of my least favorite MCU movies, and Iron Man was a good way to start off. Isle of Dogs, the other Wes Anderson movie I was talking about. I need to see more of his stuff. It. I might get It Chapter 2. And 2 had its problems, but I still enjoy it, but this is definitely a better movie. It's a Wonderful Life, another classic Christmas movie. No man's a real failure if he has friends. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, rounding off the Peanuts holiday specials I have. Jack Frost, the Michael Keaton movie. I liked it as a kid. There's parts of it that don't really hold up that well, but I still really like this. It has a lot of heart to it. James and the Giant Peach. Another great classic. But speaking of classics, Jason and the Argonauts, Tom Hanks' self-proclaimed favorite movie. And a classic Ray Harryhausen movie at that. Jaws. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Parts of this movie kind of still holds up even today, and I love the show. Fun fact, my first grade teacher, her son, well, first and second grade teacher, that is, her son worked on this movie, and now he works at Disney. Jingle All the Way. Another fun, guilty pleasure Christmas movie, but I really enjoy Jingle All the Way. John Wick Chapter 2, and John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. A really solid action trilogy, and I'm looking forward to John Wick Chapter 4 to see where it all goes. Jumanji, both on DVD and Blu-ray. Nordy's right, there are a couple episodes on the show of the cartoon, and it is prime riff material right there. It's definitely something. And the surprisingly good sequel, Welcome to the Jungle. I'll have to check out the next level when it comes. I'll have to check it out when I get the chance. The Jungle Book, one of my favorite Disney movies, as well as one of my favorite live-action ones, the Jon Favreau remake. Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I will defend parts of Fallen Kingdom till the day I die. It's not perfect, but certainly not a bad movie. I don't think it was that bad. The Karate Kid. Another great 80s classic. Two kind of underrated action movies right here. Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. Sucks Kick-Ass 2 did not do well at the box office. I really would have loved to see a third one. The Kid Who Would Be King. Probably one of the more underrated movies of 2019. This was actually really good. Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2. Classic Tarantino doing kung fu action. King Kong, the original classic. Peter Jackson's King Kong in regular and extended edition. And rounding off the Kongs, Kong Skull Island, an extremely fun action movie. Also a really good creature feature. Kingsman, The Secret Service. I don't have Golden Circle. I mean, I like parts of Golden Circle, but I'll have to rewatch it again if I get it on Blu-ray. But I'm looking forward to The King's Man. That one looks really good. Krampus, a fun little horror movie to watch around Halloween. Kubo and the Two Strings, one of the most underrated anime movies to come out this decade. Such a good movie. Kung Fu Panda, Kung Fu Panda 2, and Kung Fu Panda 3. Another solid DreamWorks trilogy. I do kind of prefer How to Train Your Dragon, but I love these movies too. Labyrinth, who could go wrong with some David Bowie, if you know what I mean, fangirls. The Land Before Time, another classic Don Bluth movie that has a buttload of sequels for some reason. Last Action Hero, a very underrated Schwarzenegger movie. It's a lot of fun. The Last Unicorn. Thank you, Huey Seymour, for introducing me to this movie. With a name like The Last Unicorn, you wouldn't expect it to be this dark, but this is the 80s. The Lego Movie. Lego Movie 2, the second part. Another underrated movie from 2019. And the Lego Batman movie. All three of these are really good. Ninjago is actually not that bad either. But kind of sucks that Warner Brothers is not going to do any more Lego movies. Let's hope Universal gives them a good one. Liar, Liar. I'm kicking my ass, do you mind? Classic Jim Carrey. Lilo and Stitch and Lilo and Stitch 2. I like Lilo and Stitch 2, but the first one's definitely a lot better. Supposedly they're going to be doing a live action one, and all I have to say is good luck. The Lion King. Another good, really good animated movie. The live action one was fine also. The Little Mermaid. The Little Rascals. Childhood right there. Childhood. The Looney Tunes Golden Collection. Love me some classic Looney Tunes. Looper. A really interesting time travel movie. And all three Lord of the Rings movies in their extended editions. Classic fantasy films. One thing about Santa Carla I can't stomach. All the damn vampires. The Lost Boys. Probably my stepdad's favorite movie. And it's a good movie too. Mallrats. Probably one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies. I'll probably have to get more of his movies then. Mad Max. The Road Warrior. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And one of my favorites of this decade, Mad Max Fury Road. Such an exciting movie. Man of Steel. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I like it. I think there's some parts that aren't as good, but I still enjoy it. Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns. The Mask. Another classic Jim Carrey. Megamind, another one of DreamWorks' more underrated movies. Men in Black, another good classic movie. Have not seen the newest one, so I don't know what to think. Misery. Kind of accurate, or at least more true to life nowadays with stuff like toxic fandom and Star Wars and stuff. It's crazy. Alright. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 2. Probably the weakest out of all of them. Mission Impossible 3. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Maybe my favorite out of them. But followed up by Rogue Nation. Ghost Protocol was earlier. And most recently, Fallout. And I'm looking forward to the next one. The Mist. Another kind of underrated Stephen King adaptation. This is a really good, intense movie. The ending, whew. Moana. What can I say except you're welcome. A Monster Calls. Kind of a really underrated movie. Not a lot of people talk about it, and it should. This is a really good, emotional movie. Monster House. The Monster Squad, Wolfman's Got Nards. Monsters Inc., another childhood favorite. The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. Really fun adventure movies. The Muppet Christmas Carol, one of the best adaptations of A Christmas Carol. Muppet Treasure Island, probably one of my favorite Muppet movies, along with Christmas Carol. Mysterious Island, another really good Ray Harryhausen movie that doesn't get a lot of talk. My Name is Bruce, really fun Bruce Campbell movie. National Lampoon's Vacation and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the only vacation movies worth owning. The Neverending Story. Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal at his finest. The Nightmare Before Christmas, both on DVD and Blu-ray. I've had this DVD for a long time, but I kind of wanted the Blu-ray, so here we go. The Nightmare on Elm Street collection. The only ones I would recommend are the first movie, Dream Warriors, and New Nightmare. The rest are alright. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of Quentin Tarantino's best movies to come out this decade. The Outsiders, as well as the complete novel version of The Outsiders. Great book and a great movie too. Pacific Rim, such a fun movie. Sequel was, Paranorman, needs to be talked about more because this is a really good movie. Paul, doesn't really get talked about a lot, but not Edgar Wright, but it's still a really funny movie. The Peanuts movie, the best way to adapt something into modern times, but it's a movie that stays faithful to the works of Charles Schultz, and I think it's Blue Sky's best movie. Alright, Peter Pan, the Disney movie, one of my favorite Disney movies, and the live-action adaptation, which is surprisingly really good. Speaking of pirates with Peter Pan, Pirates of the Caribbean on Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End, and on Stranger Tides. I might get Dead Man Tell No Tales. I actually like that one, but I'm curious to see where that reboot of Pirates of the Caribbean goes. Planet Hulk, another really good Marvel animated movie. Poltergeist, they're here. Power Rangers. This is actually kind of an underrated movie. It's what Josh Trank's Fan 4 Stick should have been. It's a fun movie. Predator, classic action and classic sci-fi. The Princess Bride. Anybody want a peanut? Prisoners. Such a hard movie to watch, but it's damn good. Pulp Fiction. Probably everyone's favorite Tarantino movie, and it's mine too. A Quiet Place. Probably one of 2018's best horror films, and looking forward to the sequel. Rampage. Probably one of the better video game movies, and it's a lot of fun. Rango. Definitely one of the strangest animated movies, but for Nickelodeon, this was actually really good. Ratatouille. Another great Pixar movie, and another good Brad Bird movie. Ready Player One. Surprised this movie gets a lot of hate, but this is such a fun movie. I had a good time with it. Reservoir Dogs, the movie that introduced us to Tarantino. And it's definitely one of his best ones. Return of the Living Dead, one of the best zombie movies of all time. Like, it's right up there. Rise of the Guardians, another underrated DreamWorks movie. I'm glad it's getting the attention it deserves. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes, a really solid new reboot trilogy. RoboCop, and I'm looking forward to that sort of reboot sequel they're doing, but hopefully it'll be good. The Rocketeer, another really underrated movie. It's on Disney Plus. You should definitely check it out. Rocket Man. Burn ass fuse up there alone. Rocky. I will have to get the rest of the movies. Creed. And Creed 2. Romancing the Stone. The Rugrats movie trilogy. The only ones I recommend are the first one and Rugrats in Paris. Go Wild was but I still think the first two of these really hold up. Samurai Jack, the premiere movie. And all 5 seasons of Samurai Jack. I absolutely love this show. It's one of my all-time favorites. Now I'll have to get Primal. If Primal's getting a Blu-ray release, I'll have to get that one too. Love me some Tarkovsky. The Sandlot, one of the all-American classics. The Santa Claus and The Santa Claus 2. Really underrated Christmas movies. Third was, probably my least favorite. Saving Mr. Banks. Nordy said it best. Super underrated, super underappreciated. School of Rock. Jack Black's finest hour. Like, this is one of his best movies. Alright, got some Scooby movies also. We'll have Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. One of my more nostalgic Scooby-Doo movies. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. One of the best Scooby-Doo movies. And also up there too, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Gave us the Hex Girls. How can you go wrong? They had the first 2 live-action Scooby-Doo movies. I kind of like these as sort of guilty pleasure movies. They're not perfect, but, well, they're certainly better than the last 2 live-action ones, and especially Daphne and Velma. Ugh. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, another one of my favorite movies of all time. It's such a blast. I absolutely love it. The Secret of Nim, probably my favorite Don Bluth movie. Shaun of the Dead, another really funny movie in the Cornetto trilogy. The Shawshank Redemption, a masterpiece. One of the best DCEU movies, Shazam. Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. These 2 movies are actually really fun. They're actually they're pretty good movies, and I'm looking forward to them finally doing a third one. If it'll get the taste of Holmes and Watson out of our mouths, that'll be great. Now, yeah, The Man, The Myth, The Ogre, Shrek, and Shrek 2. 2 really solid movies. And the only Shrek movies worth owning, even though the third and Forever After they're alright. The Simpsons movie. Still really enjoy that one a lot. Sin City. Sinister. This is a pretty terrifying movie. The sequel, not so much. Sky High. I actually find this movie a bit underrated. It's a good, fun movie. The Social Network. Hang on a second. Jesse Eisenberg right here, or Mark Zuckerberg, but this is The Social Network. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. One of the funniest movies of all time, and a very relevant message about censorship. The one that started it all, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Can't go wrong with that. Space Jam. Parts of the movie really don't hold up, but I still have a fondness for it. Spaceballs, one of Mel Brooks' funniest movies. Spider-Man. Spider-Man holds a special place in my heart. It was one of the very first superhero movies I ever saw in theaters, and it's the movie that got me into Marvel and what got me into comic books. And I want to thank Sam Raimi for that. Sam Raimi and Stan Lee. Thank you both. Spider-Man 2, one of the best superhero sequels of all time. Spider-Man 3. I actually like this movie. I'll openly defend Spider-Man 3. It's probably my least favorite of the trilogy, but I still really like it. Spider-Man Homecoming, a good welcome home to Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spider-Man Far From Home, better, but still a really good movie. And the best Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love this movie. Saw it twice when it came out in theaters. Seen it a lot of times on this Blu-ray. but it's such a good movie. So good. Split. James McAvoy, one of his best performances ever. The first 4 seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants, I love this show, and rest in peace, Mr. Hillenburg, and thank you for giving us this show. And to round it off, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and Sponge Out of Water. I'm looking forward to Sponge on the Run, and it looks like a lot of fun from the trailer. Stand By Me, another great Stephen King adaptation. Alright, Star Wars rundown. Here we go. Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones, probably my least favorite of all the movies. Volume 1 and 2 of Genndy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars miniseries, one of the best things to come from the prequel trilogy. Right along with Revenge of the Sith. Solo, probably my least favorite of the newer movies. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Star Wars, or A New Hope. The Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. Force Awakens. And the one everyone loves to hate, come at me fanboys, The Last Jedi. I like The Last Jedi, and I like The Rise of Skywalker. I'll be getting on Blu-ray when it comes out. Alright, here's a couple of underrated movies I grew up with that still hold up today. Oops, and I just dropped it. Stuart Little and Stuart Little 2. Really good family movies. Stranger Than Fiction. I saw this movie in community college, and it's a really good dramatic performance for Will Ferrell. I highly recommend it. Stranger Things Season 1, and Stranger Things Season 2. These are really good collections, and when Season 3 comes out, I will get those on Blu-ray. Oops, keep dropping everything. Straight Outta Compton. One of the best music biopics of all time. This was a really good movie. Sully. I actually think this movie is extremely underrated. It's Clint Eastwood, and it's actually a really underrated movie. Speaking of underrated, though, Super 8. I think this movie is a little more underappreciated nowadays, but Stranger Things being so huge, I think it's time to give this movie another look. Superman the movie, Superman 2 the Richard Donner cut, and Superman Returns. I have not seen Superman Returns, but I have seen the first 2 Supermans, and they're pretty good. Super Mario Brothers. This is such a guilty pleasure movie, but I kind of find a way to actually think it's kind of underrated. Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Another one of my favorite Burton movies, and a really good musical. Tangled, one of the best Disney movies and the start of a new renaissance. Tarzan, my favorite Disney movie. I love this movie. Ted. Interesting thing about this DVD here, me and my sister were house sitting for friends of ours, and they have a dog. And so, get a little closer. The dog literally tore, one day, like when we were gone from the house, literally was tearing up the cover on the DVD. Maybe it's the stuffed bear on there. I don't know, but you can see we still kept it and it's still all torn up from her. But the movie still works, and the movie is really funny. The Terminator, and one of the greatest action movies and the greatest sequel, Terminator 2. Have not seen the rest of the movies from there, and I don't know if I should be lucky for that or not. The first 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, I only recommend the first one. Second one is a fun, guilty pleasure movie. It's still enjoyable to watch. Third one sucked. And TMNT, the anime one, is actually kind of underrated. The 2 Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. I actually kind of enjoy these. These are actually a lot of fun, especially Out of the Shadows I enjoyed. They Live, probably my favorite John Carpenter movie. This Is the End, a really hilarious apocalyptic comedy. Thor, pretty good. Thor the Dark World, probably my least favorite of the MCU. And now for one of my absolute favorites, Thor Ragnarok. So much fun. Such a fun movie, and hilarious. The first 3 volumes of the Three Stooges collection, I love the Three Stooges, and I might just get through Volume 7 maybe, because that's when we get the Joes, and personally I'm not a fan of the Joes. The Three Stooges movie. I know a lot of people hate this movie, but I actually found some enjoyment out of it. I actually thought they did a good job with like capturing the essence of the Stooges. To Kill a Mockingbird in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Tomorrowland, one of the more underrated movies to come out this decade, and I'm glad it's probably getting that cult following it deserves. Top Gun, feel the need for speed, and I'm looking forward to Top Gun Maverick. Total Recall. Now we get into another one. All 4 of these are in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. All in one, because I think they all tell one huge story. Toy Story. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 3. And the one that took the biggest gamble, Toy Story 4, which was actually really damn good. Transformers. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Transformers Dark of the Moon, and the best Transformers movie, Bumblebee. Like, Bumblebee is easily, of these movies, the best one. Though with these, I kind of have a bit of a soft spot for them, and I do like them as sort of guilty pleasures, especially the third one. That climax in Chicago was actually really good. Treasure Island, the very first live-action Disney movie, and it's a really good one. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, the movie that actually inspired George Lucas and Spielberg to make Indiana Jones. Tropic Thunder. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. Robert Downey Jr. is hilarious in that movie. He is so funny. Twister. As someone who grew up in Tornado County, it's actually a pretty good movie. Not entirely accurate, but still, I enjoy it. Unbreakable. Probably my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. Up, one of my favorite Pixar movies. Upgrade, a far superior Death Wish remake and a far superior Venom movie. Us, I got 5 on it. V for Vendetta. Another Ray Harryhausen for you. The Valley of Gwangi. The Visit. Fun fact, I saw this movie with my family on my 21st birthday, and we all had a good time. WALL-E. No, wait. Correction, this should be before WALL-E, but Waking Sleeping Beauty. A really good documentary about the Disney animation company from the 80s all the way to the Renaissance. And then WALL-E. Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. Really good movie. What We Do in the Shadows. The Office with Vampires, and it's absolutely hilarious. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Another one of my favorite movies, and definitely holds up more. It's a better live-action animation hybrid than Space Jam. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Another classic. With Great Power, the Stan Lee story. Definitely worth checking out if you want to know more about the man himself. The Wizard of Oz. Another timeless gem. Wonder Woman, one of DCU's best movies, along with Shazam. Won't You Be My Neighbor, another great documentary look into Mr. Rogers. I have not seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I'll have to get on that soon. The World's End, a really hilarious finale to the Cornetto trilogy. World War Z. Kinda sucks we're not getting the sequel, but this was actually a fun movie. Wrath of the Titans, a pretty good guilty pleasure movie. It's a lot of fun. Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet. I never understood the hate for Ralph Breaks the Internet. It's not as good as the first one, but definitely nowhere near as bad. It's definitely the Emoji Movie done right. Just like with Star Wars, here comes an X-Men rundown. X-Men. X2, X-Men United. X-Men The Last Stand. X-Men First Class. The Wolverine. X-Men Days of Future Past and the Rogue cut of Days of Future Past. X-Men Apocalypse, kind of underrated. And one of my favorite X-Men movies, Logan. I don't have Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix sucked. As did X-Men Origins Wolverine. Last three, we have Zathura, Jumanji in Space, and it's really good. Zombieland, I need to see the sequel. It's coming out on Blu-ray soon. And finally, Zootopia. Whew. And that was my DVD and Blu-ray collection. Hope you enjoyed looking through all this, and well, now I gotta clean all this mess up. Thank you for watching. Look forward to more movie reviews soon. I should have my best and worst of the year coming up in a few as I'm working on it. So, hope you all have a good day. This is Clayton, signing out.